Hey guys, what's going on? It's Voodoo51292 here, and tonight I am doing another rant, one of my rant style videos, I guess you could say. This really used to be called Voodoo's Verdict. I guess now it's being kind of turned into rant time because when people see the title Voodoo's Verdict, not Voodoo's Verdict, Voodoo's Thoughts, they don't really have a clear understanding of what it is that I'm talking about, but when I put rant time on there, people understand that this is a rant. So I'm probably going to title this as Rant Time. It seems like Voodoo's Thoughts is kind of becoming a separate series from these types of videos, honestly. But anyways, here I am again tonight, talking about an issue that I have been seeing on YouTube for a while now. Ever since, a good part of last year into this year, I keep seeing it. It keeps aggravating me, and it's pissing me off, and I'll make a video about it. Now, one thing I want to say right off the bat before we get started. This is not, did I start my timer? I did not because I'm a fool. Okay, this is not a DSP video. I just want to get that off the bat. This is not a DSP specific video. I will be using DSP references in this video, but this video is not an attack on DSP in particular. This is going out to all people who are guilty of this, and I've seen other people who have done this, not just DSP. So this is really for everybody. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is YouTubers who make money on YouTube, who make their living off of YouTube, complaining and whining about how Adblock is ruining their living and YouTube. Alright? So, really ever since last year, I guess, when the situation, I guess, was starting to deteriorate, because Adblock is now a big deal, and a lot of people use it, and what people who make money off YouTube complain about is that they're saying if everyone uses Adblock, the ad companies are not going to make money anymore, and they're going to stop working with YouTube, and people are going to stop being able to be partnered. And they're complaining about this because obviously it means that they're not going to be able to make their money on YouTube anymore, and they're going to have to go out and get a job. So, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the whining, I'm tired of the complaining, it's making me angry, and I want to talk out against people who are doing this, who are complaining about this. I want to open with saying this. Having a job, as you put it, on YouTube is an extremely risky, flaky thing to do. If you are saying that you are putting your life, basically, on the line, your livelihood, and you're investing this in an online website that you have really not any control over, because Google owns it and presides over it, the servers that you upload your content to, the website, we've seen many times where Google just comes in and makes sweeping changes to YouTube without asking anybody. It's usually always for the worse because they don't care. It's run by a different company. It is computer based, so there's a lot of flukes that can happen, glitches, website crashes, maintenance, things not working right. And you are relying on an audience of people that are accessing you through the internet. And you're, I guess in a way, trusting them to be responsible while watching your content, or honestly to really care, to be quite honest with you, about your money and your livelihood. Because the bottom line is this. YouTube, as a website, was never created for people to make a living making videos on it. YouTube was never created for that. YouTube has never been optimized for that, and they still aren't optimized for it. Because if you're telling me that the use of a free add-on program on Adblock can single-handedly take down people getting partnered on YouTube, then you're telling me that clearly YouTube, Google, whatever, has not optimized their website to run in a way that people can make money off of it. YouTube was created years ago as a free website where people could upload content and other people could watch it. There was no money involved. It was not set up to be this way. This is something that third-party corporations got in on and interfered with, and Google, seeing the dollar signs, hopped on board with it and decided to let these third-party companies partner users of this site, have a contract with Google to send them money in order to send people who use the website money. So you're deciding to make a living on an internet-based site, which is extremely fluky and risky because of all the glitches and all the things that can go wrong with the computer, and with the fact that you are, you know, relying on Google basically as a corporation to care about your livelihood and to run a site, to maintain a site in a business way, which they're not inclined to do. And you're trying to make a living and make your livelihood off of a site that was never designed for this kind of thing to happen and is not optimized for this kind of thing to happen. And again, it's so much different than really so many other jobs that I can imagine. Because there's so many jobs out there that are, even in the entertainment business, okay? The people who make their money on YouTube claim that they're in the category of entertainers, alright? People accuse them of not having real jobs because they sit at home all day and play video games, and they compare themselves to, you know, comedians and singers and all this other kind of stuff, which to me is a wrong comparison. But anyway, those performers, alright, they are, when they do concerts or stuff like that, they're not necessarily guaranteed to get a certain amount of money, okay, necessarily, if they don't have contracts with a place or whatever. In a way, they're relying on turnout, alright? But these comedians and these singers, the ones who make the money, they know when they go somewhere that they're going to sell out a show, alright? Or they're going to put people in the seats. And to go see that show, you have to pay money for a ticket. If you don't, you can't see the show. So, entertainers who perform live, stuff like that, in theaters, they have guaranteed money. Because they're not worried about people being able to see their content without them getting any money. Obviously, entertainers and stuff who are on TV, they have contracts with the TV, with the stations. They get paid no matter who watches or whatever. They sign a contract. They're going to make their money. So it's a totally different ballgame when you're talking about a profession that is completely 100% based on viewership and responsibility of said viewership. And you know, it's a totally different ballgame. And you can compare things like athletes and stuff like that. Their money, you can say, is based on their performance. I understand that. But the difference is that, like I said, when these kinds of performers get paid, they sign guaranteed contracts. They sign contracts that say, you are going to make such and such money. You can make additional money or whatever based on how you perform or how others receive you, but you're going to make such and such a money. When you sign on to like a machinima or something like that, you don't get any guarantee of anything. So, all I'm going to say is this. You chose this. That's just the bottom line. You chose this. You signed a contract. You knew exactly what you were doing, exactly the risks you were taking when you signed this. You signed a dotted line saying, I am giving my livelihood to you as a company. The amount of money I make is directly proportional to my viewership, my popularity on the internet. I understand that there are programs like Adblock out there that can block me getting money, or can block the success of my parent company, which then may have to cut me out of the contract. Alright? You take on the risks, you understand the fact that you're on YouTube, which is a poorly maintained site. Let's just be honest, Google does not maintain YouTube as a site that's hosting business, hosting things for the business world. Google doesn't view it that way. Google doesn't care about really anybody on YouTube as far as their business is concerned. Maybe the top 1% guys on YouTube who make Google tons of money they may care about, but for the rest, they don't care. A site that cares about business and cares about the people using it as a business don't just change their website without asking anybody. They don't just have maintenance whenever the hell they feel like having maintenance. They don't have bugs all over the place. If Google was running YouTube as a site that was hosting big business, it would be run a hell of a lot better than it's run, but it isn't. You signed a contract and agreed to go on YouTube and do this, understanding all of those risks. So you can't sit here now and whine and complain about the fact that you're getting boned, because you brought this onto yourself. If you don't like it, if you don't like to have a job where you get paid completely dependent upon views, go get another job. I'm sick and tired of hearing you whining and complaining and moaning and bitching all the time on YouTube. Stop using Adblock. It's ruining YouTube. It's blah, 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 blah. If you don't like it, get another job. That's the way this works. You're also, look at the people you're relying on. You're relying on people to watch your content, and you just assume that they're going to stop using Adblock for your sake. They're not. I hate to tell you, in a perfect world, okay, oh, I really like this guy. He's making a living doing this. I'll disable Adblock for him. But guess what? We live in a pretty imperfect world. That's not going to happen. In no way, shape, or form is this video me recommending people use Adblock. I'm not advocating people use Adblock at all. I'm not. But you have to understand too that the way it's set up on YouTube right now with the ads and everything is broken. It is set up in a way that is extremely annoying, and hold on. I got this emergency text from LSU. They send me these emergency texts when crime is going on. They have another robbery in the same part of town, north of campus. It's terrible. It's just a terrible area, and they always have robberies and stuff over there. So I'm not surprised that I got that message. But anyway, so I mean, it's the way the ads and all are designed are annoying. Nobody, like, people don't use the internet to get annoyed. People don't use the internet to sit there and watch ads. If they wanted to do that, they just turn their damn TV on. People use the internet and want the internet to be as fast and streamlined and get their content as fast as they possibly can. If you tell somebody, hey, there's this free program you can download in 2 seconds, it completely removes all pre-roll ads from all videos, you'll never have to sit through them again, who the hell is really going to say, no, that's okay, I'll pass. I'd rather sit here through the 3 minutes when I want to watch every single video. And this used to be how it was for me before Adblock. I'd sit there and watch, I'd be watching playthroughs on autoplay. And every 10 minutes, we'd have a new part and a new 3-minute pre-roll ad, and you have to sit through that before every video. It's annoying as hell. Again, more example of the fact that YouTube is not optimized for this type of a business model. And this type of business model doesn't work on the internet. It works on television because what are you going to do? The ads are on TV. There's no such thing as ad block for your cable, right? The ads are going to be on your TV. You can't do a damn thing about it, alright? That's optimized for that type of viewing, but it's not optimized for the internet and in a world where ad block exists and people care only about getting their stuff fast. Why do people upgrade to faster internet? Because they want to get stuff and not have to wait for it. So it's a poor business model that's set up. And you have to understand this when you go into it, alright? This is a job, and I you know, I'm going to get backlash for it, I hate to say it or whatever. This is a job on YouTube where you make money just doing playthroughs. It doesn't require a whole lot of you putting yourself out there and having a whole lot of effort. A lot of these people do it from their home, okay? You don't have to go to school to do a video game playthrough. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. I get it. Other entertainers, okay, a singer and all that, you don't have to go to school either. But guess what? You have to practice what you do. You have to travel all over the country, sometimes all over the world, to promote your stuff, to get your stuff out there. Now in the days of internet and social media, it helps to get your stuff out there, but you're touring the country in a freaking rackety ass bus, performing at bars where nobody's showing up, alright, making nothing, and you scratch and claw your way up, and the ones who are best in the business make it to the top and make the money, and those who don't, and they have to do something else. And if you're on YouTube making video game playthroughs, you're sitting at home. You know, I know this because I do it. I make video game playthroughs. I don't make a living doing video game playthroughs, but I make playthroughs. I just don't want to hear, I don't want to hear the complaining, the whining, and the bitching about it. If you don't like it, then do something else. Go out there in the world and get a job. Alright? Get a job. And I'm sorry, I can't stand up here and defend doing video game playthroughs on the internet as a job. I can't defend it. It's just not something that I'm going to accept and say, yeah, okay, that's a legitimate business practice and legitimate job and all this stuff. I'm not going to do it. Because I'm busting my ass. I'm about to graduate in a few months with my undergraduate in college. I'm going to go to 4 more years of professional school to become a pharmacist and get out in the world and help people and do good things for the society and contribute. Busting my ass while you're sitting at home playing video games all day, making videos, whining and complaining about the fact that people are using Adblock and you're losing money. Give me a fucking break. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing it. It pisses me off, and I'm done with it. And I'm calling people out who do it. Grow up. Grow up. This is the real world. You want to make a living doing something that, you know, isn't what I would consider grown-up activities. All right, playing games. I'm gonna play games probably till the day I die, but it's not like, you know, playing video games isn't putting your big boy pants on. You know what I mean? It's not going out there busting your ass and doing something for the world. It's just not. All right, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the fact that these people who have basically taken, what they have done is taken advantage of a system and a practice that was never supposed to be there. They've taken advantage of it. They've been able to sit at home and play video games for however many several years they've been doing it without going out getting a job. They've been able to live off of that, and now that it's starting to collapse in on them because it's not working out the way they thought, they're going to bitch, piss, and moan about it because they don't want to have to get off their couch and go do shit. And it aggravates me to the bone to hear this kind of stuff. Alright? If I ever became that popular on YouTube that I could completely quit everything and make a living doing YouTube, I wouldn't do it. I swear to you right now, I would not do it. For all the reasons I just mentioned. Because number one, I do this because I love doing it. Not accusing the people who make money off of it for the original intention, doing it because they loved it. I'm not doubting these people don't love games. Not saying that they don't do it, you know, that they don't love what they're doing. But I do this because I love doing it, and I never want to be tempted of being a sellout, tempted of doing anything for extra cash, or being associated with being a sellout and doing it for money. I would never want to put that kind of pressure on myself to where month to month I don't know where I'm going to get my paycheck from because I decided to make a living on something as flaky as viewership on the internet, on a site that I don't host, alright? And where the parent company, Google, can just come in and make sweeping changes that fuck everything up and make stuff hard as hell to find. You can't find anything you want now on this new layout that they put on us last year. It's terrible. It's awful. And that's just, the new layout is not optimized for business on YouTube because you can't find anything. So, it's something that it's getting real old with me. I'm tired of seeing it. And I'm done with it. You chose this. You know how the game is played. You've taken advantage of YouTube and the way things have gone for years now, and made money for the most part sitting at home playing video games all day. And you've taken advantage of this. And again, this is not just for DSP. This is for all these people who are complaining about it. Now, there's some people who aren't complaining about it and are being men about it. And to them, I have no problem. It's to the people who are whining and complaining about this kind of stuff and making videos, begging people to stop using Adblock, and it's just driving me nuts. You knew the risks. This is what you did. You took advantage of it for years, not having to go out and bust your ass at a job. Now it's over. It's starting to collapse in, if that's really where it's going. I'm not one of these big price guys, so I don't have my finger on the pulse of how really the business of this is going. I don't know the projections. I don't know anything like that as far as if this business model is on the downside, if it's collapsing, or whatever the case. It may not be. These people may just be making a big-ass deal about nothing. I don't really know. It could be either way. But get over it. Get out there and work like everybody else. And I'm sorry if you get butthurt or offended by the fact that I don't consider what you do a real job. I don't care if you get offended by that. It's how I feel, and it's coming from somebody who has busted their ass to get to where I am right now, and who will continue to bust their ass for years to get a really good job, to help others out in society, to make a difference, to leave my mark, and to come home every night feeling like I did something really good and positive. And something where, guess what? I'm going to get a salary. I'm going to know how much money I'm making every year, and I don't have to worry about, you know, this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but guess what? I get this thing called job security. I get this thing called peace of mind financially, because I know where my money's coming from, because that's what I decided to do. Alright? I picked the job that I'm going to be doing, pharmacist. One of the big reasons, job security and the amount of money, because I know that I don't have to worry where my meal is coming from when I get my job and go into my career. And that's just how it is. You chose it. This is the bed you've made. Now sleep in it, man or woman up, and get the hell over it. Because everyone's tired of your whining. Everybody's tired of seeing it. I know they're tired of seeing it. People are not going to stop using Adblock. So if this is really a business practice that's crashing because people are using Adblock, guess what? It's going to crash. Because you can make as many whine videos as you want, and videos begging people to not use Adblock, and guess what? It ain't gonna work. People are still gonna use it. So right now, you might want to get your newspaper out and start looking through the job openings in your local area, and maybe send in an application, because if this whole thing isn't gonna work out for you because of Adblock, it's not changing. It's gonna keep going down, unless somehow Google and these third-party ad companies are able to revise and optimize their contracts and how money is doled out to compensate for something like Adblock. If they do that, it's a whole new ball game, and you can be happy and do money angels on your floor again, because you're going to be rolling in the money again sitting at home playing video games. If they don't do that, which is more or less where I'm leaning, because again, like I said, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that Google doesn't give a shit about, maybe, like I said, the top 1% of people on YouTube making money, and those people don't care about AdSense. People like Tobuscus and PewDiePie have so much goddamn money, and now because of it they've gone off and signed endorsement deals and deals with guaranteed money that they don't care about Adblock. YouTube doesn't have to do anything for them. They're still going to make YouTube money, and they're still going to make themselves money, so they don't care. For everybody else, they're not going to optimize this. They're not going to, you know, history with this company suggests that they don't care about running YouTube as a professional, or as a site for hosting professional business. They don't care. YouTube is a casual site. That's what it was made to be, and it's been taken advantage of by these companies who've come in and saw that they could make a quick buck. Their philosophy on it was flawed from the beginning. They cashed in big early, and now it's starting to you know, if you listen to all the people whining about it, the system's starting to cave in on itself. And then the companies are going to say, okay, cut our losses, we're out, we're going to go look for the next quick buck, and all these people who devoted their whole lives to this practice are going to get boned. So, that's just how I feel about it. So, maybe I've upset some people, maybe I've inspired some people who have thought the same way and are like, yeah, someone's finally speaking up about this. Either way, I've said what I have to say on it, and I'm tired of it. And guess what? For people who are going to whine about using Adblock, it's going to make me want to use it even more, because I just get tired of it, and it turns me off and makes me not like you a hell of a lot more than it convinces me to turn off my Adblock. So, that's the way it goes. If you don't like it, tough. Go out in the world and find a job. Get over it. Alright? that's all I have to say on the subject. So I'm Voodoo51292. As always, I'm honest with you guys about what I feel. Don't pull punches. And like I said, it wasn't really a DSP video. I don't know if I ever mentioned his name once except for the introduction. But anyway, that's how I feel. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Hope you found it informative, even if you didn't enjoy it because you disagree. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, have a good one. Peace out. See you next time.